Hello, it's me, Lipton once again. Hope everyone is doing fine. Many of you have requested me to make a short video regarding the UPSC Geoscientist examination. So today I'll be sharing a little bit about my experience, some of the tips and strategy which you will have to follow, and some of the questions that they have asked to me, my experience. So hopefully it will be helpful to each and every one of you. So let's get started. We all know that the interview is the last or the final step in your exam preparation, and I know how it feels when you are preparing for this interview, because it's very stressful and you are full of emotion, you are full of nervousness, because you don't know what type of question they will ask. Your mind is fully occupied by the questions like what if, what will, but that's quite normal. Just leave those things aside because it won't help, but focus on the things which you have prepared during your preparations. And this half an hour or maybe 40 to 45 minutes, this is the time that will likely change your life. This may potentially change your life or make your dreams come true. So this is the crucial part of your examination preparation. Now I will share the 7 golden rules which I followed during my UPSC Geoscientist preparation or during interview. So the first golden rule is start your preparation early, because in place of thinking what to study, start your preparation, develop the basic concept of what you have studied. That is the first rule. And the second rule is be yourself, know yourself. Whatever the things that you have filled up in your TEF application, in one way or the other, the first question will be from that. So will be it your hobbies, your interests, the award that you have received, the place that you have received, they may ask anything from those. So be aware of all those things, go through that again and again. And the third golden rule is develop a self-confidence in yourself. If you are not confident in yourself, then the interviewers or the board members will automatically catch you. So whatever the answers that you are giving, be confident in yourself, be confident in expressing yourself. And the fourth golden rule is maintain a positive body language. When you are in an interview, maintain a positive body language. Don't use inappropriate body language which you are not supposed to do during your interview. And because interview will, these board members, they will check how you will react during your stressful situations. So maintain a positive body language. The fifth one is maintain a positive attitude. Your attitude matters. So it is your attitude, not your aptitude, which will determine your success in this interview. So maintain a positive attitude. Don't try to be overconfident or don't try to act over smart as if you know everything. So if you don't know, till I don't know. So thus, and the sixth golden rule is get straight to the point. If interview asks you a question and if you don't know or if you are not sure about it, then directly says that I can't remember or I can't recollect. Don't try to beat on the bushes, because the answer that you are giving is the next question. So think before you leap that answer. So this is the sixth rule, and the final golden rule is dress neatly and be yourself. I'm not telling you to dress expensive clothes or suit, but the first impression is your last impression. So dress neatly and be confident in what you are dressing, and be yourself. Don't try to be others, be yourself. So those are some of the 7 golden rules that I have followed during my interviews. Now coming back to the strategy and tips which you should follow during UPSC Geoscientist preparation. like I told you, the elements or the points that you have filled up in your test, read it continuously, because the first question that they will ask will be from that test. So in my interviews, they ask me about my hobbies, because I fill up my hobbies as trekking. So they ask about related to trekking, how many hills I have, or the mountains I have climbed, or what was the maximum elevation that I have climbed, or what was the reason why I like trekking. So those are the questions they ask me. So whatever you have filled up in your test, prepare well. They may ask even the percentage that you have scored during your class 11, plus 2, or anything, your interest, your award, anything you ask. So keep on reading again and again. And the second thing is, they may ask about why you have taken geology, why not other subject, or they may ask about why you have chosen that particular university in place of other university. Like they have asked the same to me also. And they may ask about the local geology. I'm from Nagaland, so they may ask about the geology of Nagaland, or they may ask about the places where you have studied. I have studied in Nainital, so I have to be aware of the geology of the Himalayas or the Kumang, or the place where you have stayed. You should be aware of that particular geology. Another important thing is regarding the field work. You may have visited different states, or the place which you have visited during your BSc as well as your MSc. You have to be in your fingertips. What the geology of that particular area. I did my field work, my BSc field work in Shillong. So I studied about the Shillong geology, the stratigraphy, the economic importance, the structures. No need to call it details, but at least the basic concept of all those things you should be aware. And my MSc field work, I did it in Rajasthan. So I studied about a little bit about geology of Rajasthan, their structures and the places that we have visited. All those things you have to be aware of it. And another important thing is about your MSc dissertation. Dissertation is one among the, I should say it's one of the most important topics which you should prepare, because what I have observed, or what from my friends' opinion also, many of them ask about dissertation. Some they ask almost 20 minutes of the question were asked from the dissertation only. So the topics which you have prepared or related to that dissertation, you should keep in your fingertips. Study properly, know the basic concept, know the stratigraphy, know the geology, know the economic resources, their correlations, or whatever it may be related to your dissertation. So you should keep in mind. Apart from all those things, another important topic which you should also keep aware of it and study is the history of GSI. How GSI has come into being, what was their motto, their objective, and GSI also have different missions. So under which missions comes under that, and you should also know the hierarchy of GSI, things like that related to GSI, because since you are giving examination related to GSI, so there is high chances that they will ask regarding that GSI. So you should also study of all those things. And another thing is, in my experience, during my interview, they asked me about 3 favorite subjects in geology. So I told my favorite subject, and in that 3 subjects, they asked me those questions. So if you are preparing, when you are preparing, then you should also prepare at least 3-4 papers, your favorite papers, so that whatever question comes, or whatever the questions related to it asked by the board member, interview board members, you can answer it, or at least you can answer the maximum ones. So you should also focus on those your favorite subject, because we never know what question they will ask. They may ask about that also, or they may not ask also, so you should also prepare some, at least your some favorite subject. I just want to share what type of question you have asked to me during my interview. So basically, when I entered the room, I was very nervous. I've never been in that position before, but when I went inside and sit in that chair, I was so comfortable. And the first question that they asked was about my hobbies, and then once I related to that, they asked me and then about my university, why I studied there and why not in other good universities. So do taste or attitude, they asked me that maybe. So once they asked all those things, they started about the geology, and the first question that they asked me was like, suppose you are in Bangladesh and you have to come towards north, so what are the type of lithologies that you will encounter when you comes to north? So that was the first question. So when I heard that question, literally I was so shocked. But I knew a little bit about geology of Shillong and then the Assam and all. So I told them, explain it, the type of lithology that I will encounter moving towards north. So yeah, that's how I say it. Remember all the questions that they have asked, but they asked me about any 3 favorite subjects, I think. So I told them about geodynamics, sedimentology, structurals, and they asked me some few questions about sedimentary regarding this grain size analysis. What will be the environment of formation of in that particular region, like so basic things they asked me about that. And then after that they started asking me about some structures, especially the deep and strike. Normal, like they will give some values, what if that value is that, so what will be the strike amount, or where it will strike, where the deep amount. So just basic concepts they asked me about that. And after that they asked me about some paleontological part. They mostly asked me about the stratigraphy of Vindhyan, stratigraphy of Shivalik, stratigraphy of Gondwana, things like that. And I was not sure about the stratigraphy of Gondwana, so I told the interview board members directly that I can't remember, I cannot say. So they asked me what is Gondwana famous for, so I said coal. So from that, they asked me about the origin of coal and how coal has been originated here in India, and the origin of coal here in Gondwana, things like that, the geological importance and the age. And then they asked me about some particular, they gave me some particular fossils like nummulites, ceratites, what were their age, their abundance, geological age, things like that. I couldn't able to answer all those things because I didn't prepare well paleontology, but almost all I answered. And once I answered all those things, they asked me about the geodynamics, about the plate tectonics, about Indian global positions, about the movement of the Indian plate. And then they also asked me about lava lake, what is lava lake. And then they asked me about the origin of the earth. And they asked me about the opinion whether earth is older or moon is older, and give me the reason, and how moon is younger, or what is the formation of the moon, things like that they asked me from geodynamics. Remember something, in paleontology I was so shocked because one interview board members, he asked me about the evolution of human, like, and I didn't expect that question, but I somehow managed that answer. And so those are the questions that I remembered, and the interview went very well. And at the end, the German asked me, since I'm not from geology background, explain in brief what you do, what does geologist does, and then how will you contribute to the society or contribute to the nations, things like that. These simple things they asked. And after that they asked me about my village, who inspired me, and at the same time, like what is the kilometer distance from that area to that area, things like that. So that was my interview questions. Those are some of the interview questions that they have been asked. I'm so sorry, because I have to stop again and again because there are a lot of noises outside. I mean, like, I've been doing this for almost 1-2 hours and still there are a lot of noises, but please bear with me, avoid those noises and then just listen to my voice. So I want to share again some of the questions which they have asked to my friends, because in that way you will get some idea what type of question they ask. So the first thing is, sometimes, usually to almost everyone, they ask about the dissertation, the field work that they do. So you can expect some question from that. But apart from that, it also depends on the interview board members, their specialization. If he is specialized in sedimentology or petrology, exploration and all those things, then obviously they will ask related to that only. So there's no specific things as such, but some of the questions that have been asked to some of my friends were like the basic of mapping, how mapping has been done, the scale, and then if 1 centimeter equals to that, which meter will represent, things like that. The ask, and you should also know about that as a geologist. You should be aware of that. And when it comes to exploration part, they usually ask about the UNFC classification and what are the major economic deposit here in India. Another important thing is you should expect is about the stratigraphy, in which stratigraphic horizon or in which formation that particular ore or those particular minerals are being formed. So when you are studying the stratigraphy of India, you should keep in mind that in that particular stratigraphic formation or in that particular group of rocks, you will get that minerals or you will get that ore. To some of my friends, again, they ask about this plate tectonics, like how paleomagnetism works, and by the study of paleomagnetism, how will you say that India has moved, and how India moved from Africa to the northern parts. When it comes to geology, like I told you, there is no specific things as such. They may ask anything about geology, but it will be conceptual, it won't be details. Like suppose in igneous petrology, they ask to my friends like what is the difference between norite, anorthosite, gabbro, what is hyperstein, what is janukite, things like that, the simple definition. So things. And then they also ask about, when it comes to economic geology, they ask about the various economic deposits in India, the largest producing ore states in India, and what were the formations, the ore genesis, the various types of how ore are being formed, things like that. And again, to some of my friends, they ask about related to engineering geology. So they ask about the various structures, the various control to build, various structural control to build this engineering projects like dam, road, bridges, anything they can ask. At the same time, when it comes to structural geology, they will basically ask about the various, like what is the difference between normal fault and reverse fault, or like deep strike fault, things like that. And some structures like what is mullion, what are Butinage, what is the difference between them, and what were the structural controls or how they have been formed, things like that. And a important thing is when it comes to mythical geology, they ask quite a few questions to most of my colleagues, like what is blue baby, or what causes arsenic contaminations, or things like that. And not just about that, they ask about the permissible limit of water, or maybe permissible limit of sodium, potassium, or maybe arsenic or fluorine, things like that. So I think you should also be aware of the mythical geology. And again, when it comes to this plate tectonics, they may ask anything, like especially the application part, like how it has been applied, how India has been moved, or what were the reason, or what are the scientific data, and especially the ages of the earth. Do mean they ask also the age of the earth, which is a little bit controversy. So there were different opinion about the age. So things like that. One thing you also keep in mind is about the important geological formation in all over the world, like the San Andreas Fault, or maybe the Rockies, the Andes, the Himalayas, things like that. You have to keep it aware. They may ask about what is the origin and what causes that, and which subducting plate formed those mountain chain, or what were the structures, things like that. So you have to focus at some important geological formation even around the world. Where are those oldest rock formed in the world, or where were the oldest fossils, things like that. You keep those things in mind. So those are some of the things we should keep in mind, and those are some of the questions which were being asked to my friends. So hopefully you guys will learn, and at least you guys might have get some idea what are the type of questions are being asked. Well, actually I want to share a lot of things to you guys also, but the longer video it is, the more boring it will be. So I think I should stop here, and whatever the things that I share to you, I think it will be helpful to you, and hopefully you guys might learn something from it. And I think like the questions that I shared to you guys, and the experience, I think it will be helpful to you, and now you must get some idea what are both questions are being asked. So accordingly you can prepare that, and please share this video with your friends also. This will be helpful to you guys, and yeah, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel as well. And I need more suggestions from you. What are the type of videos that I should make? And at the same time, this interview is quite random, so in future if you guys need more, then I can make a separate video as well. And please do suggest me. You will find me in Instagram, my Facebook account, which will be in the description below. And yeah, for now this will be it, and please do take care, and I wish each and everyone who is going to appear this year interview from January all the very best. Give your best, and we will meet you guys once you get selected in GSI, and we will work for our country. So Jai Hind, and take care everyone.